morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be viewing from. My name is Marva B. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and I'm so excited to be here. You have entered the Black Link experience. I'd like to welcome my guests to Black Link. Thank you for coming, RJ. Tell the world who you are and what you do.
My name is RJ Leary. I am a comedian, writer, producer, and an actor.
So you do a lot. You do a lot.
Yes, ma'am. I wear many hats.
So again, welcome. Let's just get right into the interview. Tell me what was it? I read a little bit about, you kind of thought that, you were funny and, but you just didn't know what to do with it and how to, get it out there. Go ahead and tell us your experience and what inspired you to become a comedian.
So I always knew I was always funnier than my peers. Growing up, I was always much funnier than my peers. I was that guy where, like, if two people in front of me were roasting, panning, going back and forth, I'd whisper in the guy that's losing ear, like, "Hey man, you might want to say this. See those shoes? You got to talk about that." And then I always had been a fan of stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. So, and this is the first time I've ever revealed this anywhere. So I learned how to craft like material and create from, like, I was always a fan of stand-up comedy.
Right.
So I used to, it's hard getting a comedian to confess to stealing jokes, but I ain't never stealing on stage.
Right.
I used to steal Dave Chappelle jokes and flirt with women. And you use the flirt with women to make them laugh. So eventually I started developing where I said, well, let me see if I can write my own stuff. And the rest is history.
I always wondered about comedians and how, it looks so easy that they just get up on the stage and make people laugh, but it's much more than that. So
absolutely.
How is it that you sit and write jokes? Like, I'm not funny at all, so I don't have a clue. But I love a good laugh. I love to laugh till I'm crying. So what is your process?
So the first thing actually is to not write jokes. The process of being a comedian is that first 2 to 3 years, you're not really that funny. You're telling jokes like any comedian. If you go back to watch early Martin Lawrence, or they're telling jokes. You're not funny. You're not that good until you learn how to tell your story and make it comical, make it relatable. The best jokes are real life, things that we go through every day or experience, or things that everybody thinks but nobody says.
Right.
Real life is always the best. Once you learn how to make your experiences comical and tell your story from a point of view that is funny, that's when you finally arrive into a comedian. That's kind of the difference of a comic and a comedian too. Comics just tell jokes. Yeah. And then once they learn how to tell their story, they transition to becoming a comedian. It becomes second nature. So it's a lot of practice, and you have to do as many crowds, perform in front of as many crowds as possible to learn how, because you have to comedians are social experts. We have to be able to look into a crowd and see what those people want to hear.
Yeah.
What they want to hear. Reading your crowd is one of the biggest things as a comedian. Like when I do a show on Sunday, first thing I do is look into the crowd, see if I see church hats or if I look at how people are dressed. I say, okay, I can't use that joke. They just left church. Can't use that joke.
Right.
So you have to kind of transform yourself and change your delivery and performance and the way you do the craft in front of the crowd that you're in front of.
That makes sense. That's brilliant. So tell me, when was it that you got your first gig and you was like, oh my gosh, I really booked this. Tell me about that.
So my first actual gig, I was booked on a Black arts program at Michigan State in front of like 600 people. So, yeah, that was my first paying gig as a comedian. I did okay, but it was very early. I think I was like 10 open mics in at that point.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So that was early, but go ahead. Go ahead? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, that was it.
Okay. Because now when we look at you, you're opening up for some of the big names. So what was the struggle? What are some of the hurdles that you had to overcome on this journey?
Honestly, the biggest thing was, and I'm just gonna be honest, I had to learn that it's not about me.
Mm.
It's not about me. And I mean that on both ends, from the show, from the when you're opening for these major headliners, the crowd's not there to see you. Do your time, do your time, be as funny as you can be in a loud time. A lot of times, like, you don't see a lot of bigger comedians giving opportunity to newer comedians that they don't know, right, because it's so competitive these days. Mm-hmm. So they let these new guys open for them, and they're trying to knock them out the park. You tell them to do 5 minutes, they're gonna do 20. Yeah. They're trying to out funny this guy. Right. And if you transition, if you look at that on a corporate level, that's like you being told to train an intern, and the intern tells you, "Hey, I want your job." Yeah. So, and then I had to learn also on the other side of the spectrum that it's not how this is a hospitality service. Mm. We provide comfort to these audiences, so they come to get away from whatever they're going through, whatever their problems. For that hour, the outside world doesn't exist. It's your job and your duty to give them what they want to hear, and I say that because a lot of comedians, they do things like joke on the crowd or things like that. They paid to see you. They spent their money, especially in the COVID world. In 2021, if you coming out to see me, I'm throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you. It's not about you. That's one of the biggest things. You work for the. I'm sorry, I get ahead of myself. You work for this audience. So many people want to become entertainers because they want to work for themselves. They don't want to have a boss. Mm. When you get entertainment or even entrepreneurship in general, you have 1,000 bosses. You have 1,000 bosses, and you owe it to them to make sure they have the best show that they spent their money on. So. Oh wow! Yeah. So I'm at the door thanking people for coming out. If I do have a joke that includes a person in the set in my set, I'll clear it with the audience member beforehand. I'll buy them a drink, say hey, and I'll run the joke by them. I said I'm not going to embarrass you and do anything like that. I may just poke at you and refer for you in a joke.
That's nice, because sometimes I've seen where I don't know if they stopped them ahead of time, but they roasted on the people in the front row.
And I'm that's like,
why. Oh my God, I never want to sit in the front row.
And that's that. And then when you become a major headliner, and as a comedian, I mean, when you become a headliner, and the front row is the bigger paying seats. Nobody wants to. Everybody's buying nosebleeds. They don't want you to talk about them.
That's right. Because it be some hardcore stuff. And it's all in jokes and fun. And I get that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not sitting up there. So right. Yeah. Yeah. So anything in entertainment, in this entertainment world, is just, I feel like you have to be all in.
Absolutely.
You can't be half in and half out, and you have to be very committed to it and have this thick skin. I talk mainly to like artists and producers and music in the music world, and it's just like you get so many no's in this entertainment world, and so how do you take it? How does it work in the comedian world? Do you like submit your name to be a part? of this in the beginning? Like, I know now people are probably calling you saying, we want you on, but in the beginning, did you submit yourself, or is it a world where something's happening tonight? I'm gonna show up and see, can I get on that stage?
Both. I'm actually I still do both. And that's the thing is, people love a person who's not fooling himself with comedy.
Yeah.
Because people love a person who has no problem. And Ryan Davis said this the other day, like, I don't mind working with new comedians, but what do you bring to the table besides an attitude? I mean, what do you bring to the table besides yourself? So I just want to work. I just want to get in front of that crowd. It's not about the money. It's not, I want tonight. I'm doing a guest spot for for Sean Davis tonight.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
So I just volunteered. The club booked me, and I said, "Hey man, I see you got Sean here this week. Can I get 5 minutes?" He said, "Yeah, come on down." Yeah, absolutely. You just interviewed Bob Sumner, didn't you?
I did.
He actually was just talking about that with me, and I hate to talk about myself, but it's part of the story.
Go ahead.
So Bob Sumner has a showcase, Back to the Basics, that he's doing, looking all over the country for. So he before he started, I was actually one of the first comedians that knew about it, because I was in the room on Clubhouse and he was talking about it, and I made him laugh. He said, "Man, you kind of funny. You know what? Reach out to so and so to get on a showcase. And your city is just 45 minutes away." Now, I won't throw anybody under the bus, but I couldn't get on the showcase, so I spent like the next not only could I not get on the showcase, it was told to Bob that I wasn't funny. So I kind of had a point to prove at that point. So,
oh gosh,
I called around for 3 months, literally 3 months, trying to get on a showcase in any city. I actually ended up, everybody was filled. Everybody, most of them were filled. I ended up getting on one in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But beforehand, one of my buddies who Just Jeff, who I took Michael Carter's comedy class with him, we kind of got cool there.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey man, I know you've been." I actually told him about the showcase.
Right.
That's another point I'll get to afterwards. But
Okay.
actually, I actually told him about the showcase. So, he said, "Hey man, I gotta call you because you're the one that told me about this opportunity and that they were coming to Chicago. So it's only right. Look, I got on the showcase. I told my man about you. He said, just hit him up. You can get a spot too."
Whoa.
And that goes back to not being selfish with the opportunities. I know people look at comedy as it is a single man sport like boxing.
Yeah.
But we can work as a team too, because I offer a different funny than the next person. The next person, you don't have to step on each other to get ahead.
Yeah.
I tell every comedian I know about, like, "Hey man, this is coming here." I'm that confident in my funny where I feel like I don't have to step on people to get ahead. So I drove. I got on the showcase. Thank God, because the drive was like 5 hours to Chicago versus 19 hours to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the airplane. The round trip ticket there was like $500 at the time.
Yeah.
So that really helped me. So I drove 5 hours, and Bob actually remembered my name. He so he said he saw me. He said he saw me looking at him from across the room. I didn't go over and introduce myself. And he said I was just looking like I wanted to fight him or something. But I wasn't angry. It was like I wasn't angry or upset. I was just, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. So, because what happened was when he heard I wasn't funny, he actually brought it back up in the clubhouse room. Bob don't pull no punches. Bob don't pull no punches.
That's right.
So he brought it up. So I'm like, oh no, you didn't put the word out. I gotta prove you wrong. So so in funny enough, like I said, Bob was saying it looked like I wanted to fight. The comedy, the showcase took place in the boxing gym.
Hey, so you came up ready.
Yeah. So I was just in the corner of my sign in. I just stayed to myself in the corner. And when it was my turn to go up, Bob went up to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
So, but the host, for some reason, he was like, "Nah, man, we've been checking him out, so we gonna the B Cole, the actual comedian who did the booking for it. He said, "Nah, we've been checking him out. We gonna let him wait till Bob come back." They told the host to do a little bit more time. So Bob came back. I went up and I just do everything but the kitchen sink at
it. Killed it.
Yeah, I hate saying that, but
yeah,
I did what I came to do. I had to prove. I had a point to prove. And then he said in Clubhouse. He said it was he told me in person. He said I saw you the whole time. He said when they said your name, I was like, oh, okay, that's this guy. And he said I was looking at you in the corner because I was doing this is my routine that I prepare to get on stage is funny anyway because I literally move around like a boxer who's getting ready to I'm just loosening up. So he said this. He said, I said this is either going to go real good or real bad. That's what Bob said to me. But
I'm like, I love me some Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it wasn't even the fact that he said the talent is one thing, but the fact that you drove 5 hours for me to see you. He said you can't get guys to drive 20 minutes these days.
Yeah. Wow. So anything after that? Like, have y'all been in touch or staying connected?
Absolutely.
Good.
I don't. Next step is I know he wanted me to submit it, but he can't reveal too much until finish the showcase. But he told me he has some big plans. It's funny because comedians from the city were sending me posts that Bob, because I'm not even friends with him online. They were sending me posts. He posted about me same night. I was like, oh man, because I still, when you're auditioning for somebody as big as him, you like, I think I did good. He actually posted that it was they sent me the screenshot. They said a comedian couldn't get on in his city, so he drove 5 hours to Chicago to see me. That's gonna pay off for him. Just watch.
That's a big deal for Bob. I'm telling you, when I interviewed him, I said, and I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, Bob, tell me, like, people are good on the stage and you sit there like you're just blunt faces, everybody around you dying laughing, but he's there to do a job. And he just knows if you got that it factor. And I'm like, it just seems so hard, but he knows what he's looking for. And he's just good at what he does. And so I'm glad that you finally was able to connect with him. But my question was, I wanted to ask you, who said you weren't funny? Oh, never mind. Okay, no. Okay, let's not name drop. But so whatever happened, it got to Bob that you weren't funny? Can I ask that?
The comedian that was doing the recruiting, the comedian that was doing the recruiting in that city, told him like, "No, I got guys way funnier than him. You should, you should,
okay,
look at these guys."
Okay,
and it's whatever it happens. I don't hold person.
Yeah, I think so. I think that sometimes when people get rejected, like in the entertainment world, in the singing sector, in the music sector, in the film sector, and I talk to them and they say, well, I don't take it personal because I wasn't maybe good for that setting, but then something else that's going to come along. Instead of taking it personal and getting all, in an uproar, just say, you know what? All right, I'm gonna drive 5 hours and somebody gonna see me. And so that shows your commitment and your tenacity that you want, you want this thing. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
Oh no, no, no. That was I said. I definitely do. And you know, I didn't take it personal because the thing is, as a comedian, you have to know everybody's not gonna like you. But if you get good at your craft, there are gonna be people that love you.
Yeah.
Every crowd's not gonna appreciate you because people have different things that they find funny. There are people that don't think Dave Chappelle is funny. There are
Right.
people that think Kevin Hart is funny, but these guys are selling out stadiums.
Right. Yeah. I know people that say, like, I love me some Kevin Hart. And people's like, you like Kevin? I'm like, you don't? Like, I don't understand why you don't. But, the fact of the matter, the reality is that we can't please everybody. We just got to go do what we do. Some people going to like it, some people not. And that's it. Yeah. So tell me, what do you have going on today? Like, do you have something coming up that you can talk about? Tell me about, and also tell me about some of the people that you've opened up for and how you got that connection.
So let me see. So some of the things that I'm working on right now, I'm actually about to start producing my first movie. It's gonna be a series because that's the popular thing right now. It was a movie we were writing, and it's gonna be. So I'll go ahead and tell you. It's about the series is gonna be about a superhero who smokes weed.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry about that. Somebody's calling me. So
Okay.
about a superhero who smokes weed, but his powers come from different strands of weed.
Okay.
And Reggie's regular weed is his kryptonite.
Okay. That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So
I'm
we haven't even started post production. I mean production anything yet, but we've already got to go ahead to we can get it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
The director we have is great. He actually produced a movie on it's on Amazon Prime right now. He has a few credits. I don't know them all, but the Spot 313 on Amazon Tubi TV.
Oh wow. That's
As well
good.
as well as I'm working on several things with the great Tina Graham, the godmother of comedy.
Oh
You,
wow. I heard the name.
she's another one of those Bob Sumner.
Oh.
Tina Graham she did a lot of booking for the shows like like she used to work with Bob for Def Comedy Jam. She booked the music acts though, but because Bob and being around comedians got her in the comedy, so she did the booking for Bad Boys of Comedy, and she was also responsible for HBO Snaps.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, she's just as beloved as Bob is, and that's one of these things that's been a blessing for me, for people on that level who've seen some of the greatest.
Yes.
Because pretty much every comedian, every black comedian that you know of has slept on Tina Graham's couch at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for people of that caliber who've seen the best, to see something that me, it's an amazing feeling. But yeah, we're getting ready to work on a few things right now. I can't reveal much, but she just made me a producer for her TV show that's coming.
Okay.
She's going to be coming to my city, Flint, Michigan, soon, and start auditioning for her TV show as well.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's amazing. It's always good to see our people working and doing their thing. And so congratulations on everything that you've done.
Thank you.
And everything that you're that's coming up for you. We wish you nothing but success. And we will be supporting and following you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so with that said, tell the people how they can find you on all social media sites.
Facebook is RJ Leary, RJ Leery is the last name. Instagram and everything else is comedian RJ Leary. One word.
All right, you guys, go out and let's support. Go hit like, click it, share it, leave your comments, subscribe, whatever. Let's support one another because the support matters, and that's how we level up and we can help each other grow. So you guys, we're going to get out of here for now. In the meantime, remember, respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.